Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn bottom left side as the Noir Eclipse or Lash. We got Lovi. Spawn top right side as the Yellow Comet Jake. We got Neverlocke. And yes, the E is definitely not science. Silent. Science. Silent. Yes, the E does not mean science. This map is a 3-base map, 1 airport. There's also a seaport here, which I don't even think is even used before a black boat, seeing how short the distances are for everything. I don't even know why there's a seaport there. I mean, if it was shore on this tile here, maybe stuff could be boosted forward, but even then, not really. Got a tank here. Recon reconnoitering the area. Another tank deployed in the field. Jake's tank here is very similar to Lash's tanks on planes. Both will get plus 10% firepower on planes. Lash's, of course, get additional firepower on other properties. Artillery, double infantry. I mean, if the E is silent, then why have it there to begin with? Because so it would be a lock. It needs to be an AE symbol. Can it be the AE symbol? I know for the capital AE symbol, you hold down Alt 1 or 0198, if I remember correctly, for the capital AE. Can't remember what the lowercase AE was. Recon, tank, and infantry. Does Russia have backwards E? How can it be a backwards E? Got a tank wounded falling on back there. This counter is now being captured up by Jake, but of course it can be interrupted. Lash has not started capturing up this one, but can be. Both players do sort of a cruise on top of the HQ. And does get a nice strike in the recon, knocking it out. Drone capture there, 4 capture progress remaining. A likely will be fully captured. This infantry's out of range. Could maybe finish off to these 2 infantry units. Hard to say though. Lash has both players captured their A-com tower, but Lash is about to capture the second one. So that maybe enough firepower to kill off, but we'll need this 3rd infantry to push forward and spot for it. At that point in time, you're sacking 3 infantries to stop the capture of a comm tower for maybe 1 turn. Recon, infantry, battlecopter, and infantry. Tank, and infantry. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Does the infantry unit there hits this pipe seam down to 50 health. Got a nice core of units here. Lash does have a pretty good flank here. Recon will strike the infantry and hits that one. Hits the capturing squad there. 19 versus 18 income. 1,000 income. This last party appears to be despicably neutral. Tank, infantry, and infantry. Or as a medium tank, I should say. I swear the Noir Eclipse makes it hard to see some stuff. Get some good frontline hits there. Jake is pushing forward. I wonder if he goes for a beatdown this turn. Because if he pushes too far forward, he's going to be very vulnerable to a counterattack. After all, there's going to be a tank. He sees now 3 tanks and artillery he's going to be in range of. This is a river tile, so taking out that infantry unit there wouldn't result in a clear path to the artillery. Now there's going to be 4 tanks, a battlecopter, and artillery now all ready to shell him. And with him pushing forward, or her forward, then she can also perhaps bring up the anti-air to the battlecopter. Could see a terrain tactics. Will just basically be used with +10/+10. It's a recon. Looks like anti-air will not be able to range the battlecopter. We could see a block rock next turn. Can't say it'll be any effective though. We are seeing a block rock. Takes the battlecopter. So we'll come down to +2 movement range. A lot of these units are quite wounded. There's a number of wounded units in front of him. Battlecopter will strike the tank there, plus 40% firepower from attacking from planes. Is actually getting relatively nice there. Tank hits tank. Actually a pretty decent block of rock there, honestly. And instead of 132 versus 95. Prime Tactics does take out the battlecopter, of course. Anti-air takes out tank with +2 defense stars. Triple defense stars, or a lot of defense stars there. Minus percentage health. Tank, and infantry. So not super powerful terrain tactics, but of course she gets double defense stars. It's going to be very handy. 0 extra defense stars there. A lot of extra defense stars there, so that infantry unit is taking a bit of a pounding. Finish off some 1 health infantry units. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Yeah, I think it should be, I think terrain tactics, if terrain tactics would be shrunk down, honestly down to 2 stars, or prime tactics gets shrunk down to a total of 6 stars, I think that would probably make Lash a bit more balanced. Because I think prime terrain tactics is also an ability that's rarely ever useful. I mean, it's 4 stars for perfect movement, which is only going to be really useful for wheeled vehicles. Sure, tanks can move perfectly through woods, but they're only generally slow down at most by 1, maybe 2. So if it's just 2 stars, then it'll basically be very, very similar to Adder's power. But not entirely. Where some units are better, some units will be worse. I think 3 stars is too expensive for terrain tactics. I think 2 stars is actually pretty good. Tank, recon, and infantry. Does get some good hits there. Finish off some outlying tanks. Right now, the players are still pretty even. Jake has a slight value edge. Takes off some outlying tanks. Finish off that one with Booster Strike. And also now threaten this counter. And there's not many things that can threaten it. There is a anti-air he can Lash can sack. I suppose this infantry's in sprinting range though. Good shots there. Of course, got another block rock available, which may be useful for the battlecopters for the additional firepower on planes. Overall, Lash has a pretty good core amount of armor here, including a medium tank. Lash ends turn of 117. Jake starts turn of 105. But of course, that's his day-to-day, so he's still ahead at the moment. The block rock course has been casted. 10 catch of progress remaining on the comm tower. Takes out the anti-air. Battlecopter gets a booster strike on the medium tank, and not booster strike there. Booster strike on there. Takes out the infantry unit there. Try to go for the capture. Booster strike on that tank. This tank reinforced kills off that unit there. Booster strike on that tank there. So far, an excellent block rock. Actually using the plane's firepower bonuses quite successfully. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Here's the prime tactics. Jake ended his turn of 120, Lash started turn of 86, so she's actually pretty far behind at the moment, about 2 turns. As that tank twice does interrupt the capture there, and somehow did not lose his tank. Anti-air does take out the Battlecopter, tank hits tank with no defense stars. Tank, infantry, tank. 108. Jake's down to 91 for day to day, so he still has an advantage. This anti-air has 5 health remaining with 16 fuel and 3 ammos. Does get some good shots there. Does win the coin flip. Does finish off the Battlecopter with infantry unit there. And another one goes down as well. Lash has been making her units last much longer than I expected. Anti-air artillery infantry and puts beam tank on top of a city. Takes out some of these wounded tanks. Finish off that 6 self tank while at it. Okay, 2 contracts will help out with that. Lash is right now at 18,000 versus 20,000 income. Infantry, infantry, and rocket. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. And it's 116, Lash is 122, so they're pretty even at the moment. Looks like front lines are being established right around here, so the next big conflict's going to be right around here. Lashes have 2 medium tanks. And Jake's trying to do a bit of a front switch, looks like. Recon, Battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Tank, infantry, infantry. Neo tank, infantry, infantry. Infantry, infantry, and medium tank. Yep, got a mass build up here. Interrupts the capture. Jake still has the capture advantage. The big key difference is the fact he owns these 2 central ones. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry, infantry. Takes out that infantry unit there. Jordan captures here. Medium tank strikes that unit there. It's a recon. Tank in range of the artillery. Rocket moved in to provide this coverage. So Rocket is in a good covering position right now. Medium or Neo tanks now range the rocket. But will the rocket be in range? Block rock's almost available. He's got to dive down the rocket if he wants. Once he spots it, right now it's out of vision range. But getting good number of picks there. Does spot the rocket there. This infantry unit's on top of a river, so a land vehicle cannot break through this way. But this infantry unit here is an infantry unit on top of a road, so pass can be smashed through. It's the artillery here. Going through the recon on the 1 health. Infantry unit does get picked off, and this tank reaches the rocket there, knocking it out 1 shot. And this is probably the game-ending push for Jake. Lash can bring pop prime tactics. We got 184 versus 120, so she's severely behind. And the front lines have to smash into each other, so she has to make this turn a good turn, or else she will lose. She still has a medium tank here, which could range the Neo tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just needs quite a bit of path opened up. Maybe take out tank and Battlecopter there. Or the medium tank goes over here. Anti-air finds battlecopter, anti-air finds battlecopter, battlecopter finds tank, and as well as infantry. Tank, anti-air, infantry, insert of 136, which evens it out, but Jake still has his day-to-day funds. Now it's the front lines are smashing each other, so both sides are going to be losing some more units. Lash's turn. Does get some picks there. Medium tanks are unable to range the Neo tank. Triple tanks. Neo tank does strike the medium tank, and now the battlecopter softens up the other medium tank. Neo tank is in range of artillery, but it's a 3 health artillery. She might need to pop our terrain tactics just to get extra firepower going. Medium tank does fall back. Medium tank strikes Neo tank, does pop the terrain tactics just before any bit of firepower. Regular tank does finish off Neo tank. Anti-air hits the battlecopter twice. Perfect movement will allow it to escape the base force quite easily, but got a block rock available, and Jake starts to still have more value in the field, so this is probably going to game into push. Not to mention, the +1 range of the indirects will be useful this turn, able to strike this medium tank. Not on top of planes though, but it does take out the medium tank with the artillery piece. Looks like a bit of a clean sweep down south. Lash is taking off a lot of losses so far. Tank, and infantry. Insert of 125,000 for 83. She is severely behind now. Takes the final on user. 1 health anti-air gets trapped, not a big issue. Oh, and Lash does resign there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.